Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto and welcome to your daily Bitcoin update. I might even call this an emergency update, but I'm not certain. I mean, is it really still an emergency update right now? I did an emergency update yesterday on the entire markets in the evening while it was going on, while we had that bearish pressure. And since then, we have pushed down a little bit lower as expected. In that video, I told you it's better to assume we're going to drop down lower. That is what we did. So in this video, I kind of wanted to talk about today, what to expect. What the current situation is right now. You know, are we going to drop down lower? Can we expect some recovery, etc., etc.? And I want to say, when we're talking about the technicals, first of all, like ultimately, what I expect, it's just, you know, the way we get there, that is still quite uncertain at this point in time, because honestly, there are quite a lot of uncertain fundamentals, but we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about how you can understand those fundamentals and how you can know if the fundamentals are getting better or not. But ultimately, the main level that we have, the key support zone previously, but the key level in general on the chart right now is 100,000. Okay, 100,000 major psychological support level. It's a lower time frame value area low. But most importantly, we have the, and it's a respected key level in general as well, but most importantly, we have the yearly rolling VWAP there. And it's quite crucial that we reclaim that level. If we are unable to reclaim that level, that will matter a lot, and that will tell us a lot about what to expect from Bitcoin in the coming months. And ultimately, I do think when we're talking about the crypto markets and when we're talking about my longer term expectations for Bitcoin, I do still think we're going to get a leg up somewhere either 2025, although it seems unlikely that it's still going to happen in 2025, or maybe in Q1 or Q2 2026. So what I expect from Bitcoin is that we are going to reclaim that level at 100,000. Now, like I said, it's still uncertain how we are going to do that. Can we reclaim that later this afternoon? Or do we need to spike down lower into 90,000, consolidate there for a couple of weeks, and then reclaim it? That is the main question, right? And that's what we'll talk about. Ultimately, at this point of time, there's a couple of things that I'll be watching very closely. One of them is the volatility index. Volatility index basically measures uncertainty in the financial markets. And you can see that opened higher. That's not great. So therefore, fundamentally, I still have to be slightly bearish here. Equities have also pushed down, as you can see, you know, after market close. Or you could say pre-market right now, to be fair. So those have pushed down. Equities are pushing down. Volatility index is high. Gold is also in an uptrend on the lower time frames. On the higher time frames, of course, it's in an uptrend. So based on that, fundamentally, I have to be slightly bearish on Bitcoin, and technically as well, because technically we have broken down below that level at 100,000. Now we are forming some bullish divergences right here, as you can see, and there's definitely some signs of the selling pressure weakening. So that's technically we see some good signs, so that's good. Fundamentally, I still think it's that there's reason enough to be cautious. And then the key thing that we will be watching this week, or well, this week, but also today, is do we have liquidity problems again? Yesterday and the day before, we had liquidity problems, right? And the Federal Reserve has been doing quantitative tightening either way, as you can see, for the last 3 months by quite a bit. But outside of that, the SOFR spread, which we spoke about which we have talked about very often already in the last couple of weeks, but also the repo operations, those were up, and I will make a video after the NYO today and we'll talk about that. If those are up again, then we are most likely going to drop down lower into the next support level, which is sitting between 94,000 and 90,000. And based on the fundamentals at this point in time, I would still say it's most likely that we will push down into that level before we have a chance to bottom out and before we have a chance to reclaim that 100,000 level. Which if we do drop down into 92,000, then it's going to take some time to do that, of course. Now, the only way I think we have a possibility to actually reclaim 100,000 today is if we do not see those liquidity problems. All right, so then we can get some bullish momentum. The weekend is most likely going to be slightly bullish as well, as it has been in the past couple of weeks. And then we can see some recovery. But like I said, as it stands right now, there's no sign of that, right? So I cannot tell you we're going to get recovery if we have not seen any recovery, neither in the fundamentals right here pre the NYO, but also not during the US session yesterday. So those are my thoughts. Hopefully it makes a bit of sense. Ultimately, this is what I would still expect at this point of time. But I'll keep you updated on this. Also, make sure to follow me on X, because I will post some updates regarding Bitcoin's price action and the fundamentals if they come out. So I'll see you there. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.